Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Final Fantasy. In the last episode, Theo, Adin, Ysir, and myself marshalled our forces, and after some considerable battles, were able to build up our strength and our experience well enough to actually contend with the fallen blackguard, known to one and all as Garland of Cornelia, rescuing the princess of the king, whose name is Sarah, from his evil, diabolical clutches, and as a result the king built us this wonderful bridge with which we can now ascend to the northern continent. At least in this area here, we're not exactly... there's still more to explore. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? I would also like to apologise for the slight volume issue in the previous episode. There's still a little bit of an issue there, because the simulator does have an odd way of handling its sound. And as a result, I've had to try and tweak things so that my commentary isn't being drowned out by the sound of the music, and vice versa, even though this music is composed by none other than Final Fantasy John Williams, whose name is Nobuo Uematsu. Yeah, that comparison, I feel, is well deserved. But our next order of business is to actually explore this northern continent and see what else we can find. Appears to be another port here, but we actually don't have a vessel of any kind to actually use this, or make use of this port, and there's no one guarding it either. One thing that I also should mention, adventurers, for the time being, is the fact that I will not be roaming through this adventure blind, as I was during my Dawn of Souls LP 9 years ago. Indeed, I have chosen to make use of a very invaluable tool indeed, which can be found at a little one-stop shop known as Mike's RPG Center. Your basic go-to place for all your Final Fantasy matters and quests. I'll be using the materials within to at my disposal, including various maps of both the world and the locations within, so that I'm not always fumbling around in the dark. And I will be posting a link to Mike's RPG Center, an invaluable repository of knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment for all Final Fantasy adventures in the video description. I shall be making use of this when I can, but for now I have a fairly firm grasp of the situation, so now I believe I'm going to head north through this forest area, and I get ambushed by wolves over the course of this particular endeavour, which is never a good sign, being attacked by wolves. So we shall dispatch these enemies post-haste and get some experience for our trouble, and continue to make our way north through this land. And lo and behold, we are accosted by our favourite enemy, imps. Now, I will try and skip these battles as best I can, and that imp just rolled a critical hit there against Ysir, which is never a good sign. But I won't be showing these battles too often, I hope. So, although they do provide good filler for these episodes, and I missed because I was too distracted there, but fortunately, and there you see Theo's attack was ineffective because the other imp that he was about to attack was already slain. And me for the win with the finishing blow there. 24 gold. Now it's, as soon as we can get out of this area here, we can actually venture to this cave in the northern part of this particular continent. And doesn't seem to be fairly hostile in there, although there is a broom which is appears to be cleaning the place all on its own. Maybe it's animated by some sort of spell, certainly reminiscent of a certain Disney movie that I am somewhat familiar with. Let's see if we can, well, catch up with the broom, per se. Tisles B H sub? A magic spell? Huh. That's actually, rather cryptic, isn't it? But, oh. Are these, skulls? I think they are. Although, for some reason we can, walk over them, which is, kind of strange. I think they're actually not meant to be, this size. I think we can just, step over them as opposed to walking on top of them, because that wouldn't make much sense. But this appears to be the, custodian of this particular cave. Where is my crystal? I can't see anything without it. Who stole my crystal? Well, we have to, find this, person's crystal, and, speaking of which, the orbs in our possessions are actually also supposed to be crystals, although they have quite a significant impact compared to the crystal that we have now been tasked to find. Crystals are pretty much a major thematic plot point in the classical Final Fantasy adventures. We have 3 treasure chests here that we can check. We found a pure potion, which is always a good thing. A heal potion, also good. And another one. 2 heal potions and a pure. That's very fantastic. And all of the brooms say the same thing. Tisles B Hish up. Which, in all fairness, is actually not all that cryptic once you know what to look for, because that is actually backwards. It's not an alternative unknown language. It's basically push B and select. So if we push B and select at the same time, we can actually access the map of Final Fantasy and the overworld. And it turns out that this place is actually a lot more vast than we were led to believe. Interestingly enough, well, that glowing arrow there, or that glowing cross there, is pretty much where we are at the northern part of this area. And that glowing symbol slightly below it, and further south, is in fact the Castle Cornelia we were in not too long ago. But the problem is we can't actually access, yeah, there is actually no way to actually move the cursor so that we can actually indicate where the other landmarks are, even though they're all glowing. If you have the manual, or if you have any of the maps, like the one that I acquired from Mike's RPG Center, you can get a clearer glimpse as to what is actually here in the land of Final Fantasy. But this is as good an indication to kind of see where we are, as opposed to where we're actually going. Now, one of the people in Cornelia mentioned Pravoka, a port city to the east, so east is pretty much where we want to go at this point. So I'm actually going to head down, back down to where we were, and move east, and I shall see you on the other side, adventurers. One moment. Just a brief battle highlight to introduce a new foe, a creep. This could probably be a creature that is going to be detrimental to our health, so probably want to kill it with fire and lightning. We have plenty of magic there, and that was 40 damage, and that creep did not die. And that was more damage, and that creep is still, and that's not good, Theo missed. But fortunately Yazir was able to kill it with fire. So yeah, the creep is actually a fairly formidable enemy, despite the fact that it only gives us 15 experience and 15 gold. But we shall be continuing our journey to Pravoka in the east, so I shall see you all soon. Alright, we're back down here, and now we shall begin heading east, and we're walking through sand, which means... Oh dear, that's, that could be bad. Yeah. 3 great imps, a single wolf, and 2 great wolves. That, would be bad indeed. Do I, I might want to, use a lightning, might want to, deal with the wolves at, any rate. By that I mean the great wolves, so, yeah, that, this might not end well for us. That's, yeah, these are, slightly more formidable enemies, and, hopefully we can deal with them, without too much trouble. But, if push comes to shove, we will need, Adin to sort of bail us out with his healing. Of course, we'll need to rest once we reach Pravoka, because we're actually running low on spell chargers. Although I suppose we could actually use a tent in order to sort of make camp and rejuvenate ourselves that way. Which, it might work. That might be a might be an answer, and we need to take care of these wolves ASAP, because otherwise they might slay our party, and currently the only way to actually revive any slain party members is by bringing them to a clinic. I should mention, however, that when they are restored back to life, they will only have 1 health, which means they will need to be healed with a potion, rested at an inn, or cured with cure magic. But fortunately we're taking care of business here, and that was actually quite a formidable fight, but it was worth it. 66 experience and 104 gil. Which means we reach level 4, and that is going to be very useful indeed for when we actually reach Pravoka and beyond, because we aren't going to be staying in Pravoka for too much longer, and probably a bad idea to, actually, you know what, I'm going to camp in the forest, or just near the forest, so I'll actually use one of our tents here to recover health and reach our save as we rest. Of course, using a tent will not restore our spell charges that we have already exhausted. Only a house can do that, or an inn. So we pretty much are going to have to make our way forward from here on out as we explore further east. And there are some more wolves, so I shall leave this battle for the time being. You know what, adventurers? I'm going to actually show you what happens when we attempt to escape a battle, because it's something I haven't shown off, even though that can be bad, because as we're running away, our mages are in serious danger of actually getting killed. But we fled that battle, and we've now escaped the forest, although we can still be attacked in the wasteland, so I believe it's time for a cure spell from Undead on himself. Theo has plenty of health, and he can bear the brunt of any sort of attack, so we shall now continue further east, and there's more encounters. Alright, now we've dealt with that, we can no, I didn't want to do that. I want to check the map. B and select. Make sure I'm actually heading in the right direction. We are actually fairly close to our destination of Pravoka, which is, well, right down here. Pravoka, and it has a nice little port area over here, so let's explore this quaint little town and see what awaits. There is a person over here. Hello. Help. Help? From what? Is this town under siege or something? There is another person here. Maybe we can learn, well, if we can catch up with him, perhaps we can learn something from about what's going on. This town has been invaded by pirates. Well, that's not good, but, fortunately there is an inn over here, and, it appears the pirates are ransacking the place, and, the price of, the inn here is 20 gil more than that of Cornelia. The inns do actually get more pricier, the further you go. But, 50 gil is not that much of a stretch, considering the fact that we actually get our spells back, our spells restored. We have 4 level 1 spells that we can use level 1 spells 4 times, and level 2 spells twice. We'll be looking for level 2 spells soon, but first we're going to deal with those pirates. And we seem to have found the Ringleader, standing in the plaza here. I'm Bicky the Pirate, and surprised I am that you scurvy dogs have the nerve to face me. Are you trying to sound like Yoda, Master Yoda, in the way that you articulate your sentences there, good sir? Rather weird of a pirate to actually speak that way, but, oh well. Mates, get those landlubbers. And, we have a bunch of, Viking pirates. There are 9 of them in total. However, they're all considerably weaker than imps. Yeah, we can, pretty much deal with them, in due course, and, won't even unleash our spells on them if, of course, Adin and Uzir still have the, you know, their accuracy isn't the best, but, they can still deal damage, although the pirates might actually deal more damage to Uzir and Adin first. Yeah, really don't want you two to miss, and really would like it if you would actually deal some damage to the pirates. There we go. As long as the pirates focus on me and Theo, we should be fine. And as long as then Uzir can keep dodging blows, we should also be fine. But we have already killed, we have already taken down 6 of the pirates. There are only 3 left. I think Captain Bicky will be quaking in his boots at the sight of his lackey crew being slain by a bunch of miscreant adventurers, such as we. But, well, we did take down the most powerful knight in the realm of Cornelia, so we are pretty well prepared at this point. And there we go. We have saved Pravoka from the wrath of the ragtag crew of pirates, and that was 90 experience and 360 gil. Don't mind if I do. Okay, you got me. Take me ship. Yarr. Why, thank you very much. And do you have anything else to say? I won't be any more bother, I promise. Well, the light warriors have saved yet another town. And the elves live across the sea. Matoya's herb is the only thing that will wake their prince. Now, Matoya is the custodian of the cave that we found before arriving in Pravoka, and she is the one who is searching for a crystal. She cannot see without her crystal, and it looks like we're going to have to find that crystal in order to obtain the herb from Matoya. But also the prince is sleeping. It appears that the prince has been cursed with a slumber spell, and Matoya's herb is the only thing that will wake him up. Thank you. We don't need to be afraid of pirates anymore. No, indeed. You just saw 9 of them. Pretty much, well, we could have given them the option to turn tail and flee, but I don't think they were prepared to give up without a fight. Ships can only stop at ports. There are no ports in the north. That is a very useful piece of information to learn. We cannot sail to the northern continent from this one whatsoever. We're going to have to find another way to get there. There are many dangerous monsters in the sea. Be careful. Fortunately, I do possess lightning in my arsenal, so electricity is very potent against sea monsters and sea creatures. I have escaped from Melmond in the west. My town is in trouble. Please help them. We won't be going to Melmond for quite some time, adventurers, although we will be going there eventually. Yet another town in crisis. And, is that a magic sop I see? It is a white magic sop I see. Yes, indeed. Now I did mention that we were going to get some level 2 spells. However, none of them will be the white magic spells. We have Lamp, Mute, Alet, which is anti-lightning, and Invis. Lamp is supposed to cure the darkness stasis element, or ailment, I should say, not element. However, since status ailments really absolutely don't work all that much, as far as I'm aware, due to reliable sources, such as the famous Final Fantasy adventurer H.C. Bailey, whose Let's Play exploits I have watched on numerous occasions. Follow his channel in the video description. Yeah, status ailments do not work in the original Final Fantasy. Mute is basically silence, although we're not going to be using it. Alet is anti-lightning. It reduces lightning damage by a certain percentage, I think, but we're not going to be needing it for a while, if at all. And Invis is basically invisibility, which we will not be purchasing. We won't be purchasing any of those. However, we do want to go to the black magic shop over here, because black magic is very useful. Now, we have ice, dark, Temper, which is basically Berserk or Enrage, and Slow, which can slow down enemies, but that's not going to be effective. I'm actually going to purchase Ice for myself, since Uzir, being the Black Mage, has more of a fiery temperament than I do, despite my being a Red Mage. Now, there is a weapon shop here, which we have an iron hammer, a short sword, a hand axe, and a scimitar. We could, is a scimitar really better than a rapier? It probably is, but, I will hold off on that for now. I might acquire some at some point, but, I'm pretty sure that, we're going to be finding some, very potent weapons and, equipment over the course of our adventures, in due time, but there is still the rest of Pravoka to actually explore here, such as the item shop over here, which, yeah, cabins are far more expensive than tents. They heal more HP, but they cost a lot more. 250 gil, ouch. Yeah, so save them while you can, because they are important. But armor is certainly something that we are going to be acquiring. We could purchase iron armor for Theo, which would make him formidable indeed. We also have a wooden shield, which could be very useful for him, as well as gloves. We're going to be purchasing shield for Theo, so that he can equip it. And he only has one more slot left in his armor that he can carry. He only has one more piece of armor that he is allowed to carry, so I don't think that there is anything else that we can pretty much explore, and we can't enter any of these other buildings, these houses of the residents of Pravoka here. But, Biggie is a man of his word. He won't bother the people of Pravoka here anymore. So, yeah, we saved the town. We're heroes across the land. And there is Biggie's ship here in the port of near Pravoka, and you can sail around water here. And there are some enemies, some sea monsters. Even though it says Sahags, because Final Fantasy actually has a limited character description, given the way that it is. These are actually Sahagins, which are quite susceptible to lightning, if I do say so myself. Though fire could hopefully be just as effective, and Theo could just take them up with his fantastic sword work. Actually, no, fire, given the fact that they are sea creatures, does not work. It doesn't work in the slightest. However, lightning is super effective against them, so I shall be invoking the power of lightning. Actually, I will show off the ice spell here in this instance to just show you its powers, to be sure. I'm sure the results will be quite chilling. 40 damage, that's good enough, although not quite as effective as the lightning spell. I always prefer to use ice and lightning as my go-to elemental spells in Final Fantasy, but the Sahagins yield up, I should say, decent experience in Gil, so why not? But we shall park our ship, and we have quite a lot of Gil here, so we shall rest at the inn once more to replenish our strength for the time being, because we've had a long and arduous journey, and fighting a bunch of pirates as well as a bunch of sea monsters does give one an appetite, but we will be careful, don't you worry. Although your concern is much appreciated. So that is it for this episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy. And when we return, we shall set sail and hopefully find our way to the distant land of Elfland, or Elfheim, as I'm going to refer to it as from now on, and find the sleeping prince, and see if we can awaken him from his slumber. Of course, to do that, we need to find Matoya's crystal and give it back to her so that we can get the herb that can wake him up. But that is a quest for another time, so I shall see you in the near future. As always, adventurers, until next we meet, farewell.